Welcome everyone on this first session on StreamOne Ion. Some clarifications, some answers to frequently asked questions that we received. I'm Eric. I'm the platform manager in Belgium, Luxembourg. My task is to make sure that you can work with StreamOne and StreamOne does what you want it to do. During the presentation, do not hesitate to interrupt me to put something in the chat window. Let me open the chat window for you so that I can follow it. No, there are no bad questions, just bad answers. I said StreamOne Ion, our Microsoft or our multi-vendor cloud marketplace, where we do today in Belgium and Luxembourg 6 vendors, obviously Microsoft, but also AWS, Google, BitTitan, AvePoint, and Acronis. So you see those vendors are, but I said our main vendor on the platform today is Microsoft. If you look at numbers, if you look at customers, if you look at partners. Okay. Topics of the day, renewals. So again, this is coming out of feedback where people say, look, I'm not having difficulties of finding this, or how do I this, or how can I do that? Second part is price books, which is a rather important topics. Then 2 topics under the hood, which is, well, we will see. I remember when we're there, some roadmap, some training information, and then obviously Q&A. But as said, if you have questions during the sessions, please do not hesitate to interrupt me. So let's first look at renewals. So renewals, especially for Microsoft, is a very important topic, especially now coming with the renewal host that we're going to have February, March, due to the change Microsoft did a couple of years ago from legacy to NCE. A lot of new orders were created in NCE in this period. So let's start preparing ourselves for these renewals, and let's see how we can get information on the platform that will help us to go into the renewals. I'm not going to do too much slideware. I need to have some slides, obviously. I'm a PowerPoint man, but let's do it most as possible out of the platform. So let's go to the customer. This is a live platform. Same view as you had, same functionality. It is actually what you are using in your daily work when you're working with the StreamOne Ion platform. I'm a reseller here. The name of the reseller is CDevo Belgium. And obviously, I have my customers and I want to have my renewals. I want to prepare myself for renewals and make sure that whatever happens, I'm ready for my customers to contact them if needed and such. The basic place to go is subscriptions. That's the easiest way to find your renewals. And it's just a matter of basically filtering it out. So go to the filters. When you go to Microsoft, your cloud provider is Microsoft CSP, yeah, not legacy Azure. That's old, and I come back to that later. What does that mean? Not modern workplace, this is legacy. Almost all legacy now died away. There are some legacies still live, but most of them will be gone away at your customers, even academic and charity licenses. So we're going to aim for Microsoft CSP. And obviously, we want to renew our active and also maybe have a view on our suspended licenses. I click the apply filter twice. And then I have my list of all active licenses, which I can also filter or sort on the end date, which is coming first, which is basically tomorrow. This one, the first one, will be renewed because the auto-renew is enabled. A very simple way of getting your information. Now, I only have 14 live subscription. You see right bottom. If you want to have it better, you can obviously export it. So click on the small array next to the subscription ID, export it as a CSV. And then you can basically, quite simple, Let me show you the Excel sheet that I get. So I opened my CSV is always in Excel. I transform it into data, into columns. So on the data, text to columns, obviously is delimited. It's with a comma delimited. This is an important step. Whenever you use in Iron, you export a report or a data set, make sure that you use a decimal point, a decimal comma. Per default, all numbers are in US format. Whatever language setting you have in your PC, you always get the US format if you convert these columns. So, but by inversing the two delimiters, so the decimal delimiter and the thousand separator, you will get the exact numbers that you want. Okay, and I finish, and I have my list of all my licenses and all the end dates. So all the renewals are here that I can use. You will see, for instance, also here, this kind of dates, Azure subscriptions, they don't, Azure plans, they don't renew. They're always active unless you stop them. So that's why you get this phony date of renewal in your Excel sheet. And now you can basically distribute it to your salespeople and say, look, this is your customer. Go out and talk to them and have a better way of looking to your renewals. As you know, 1st of April, there will be a price change and yearly commitments with a monthly payment. So all renewals that are done after the 1st of April will have a 5% increase. So you might have this discussion with your customer before April to make sure that, or you change it to a yearly payment, or you inform the customer that they will have a 5% price increase on your on the subscriptions. So this is one way. I think the easiest way to find the renewals. Another way is going to the reports. The reports are billing reports. They are not renewal reports. So I go to the Microsoft CSP, again, Microsoft CSP meaning NCE. See, I have a lot of reports created. I go to this renewals report that I created for this. Per default, I select here a year because everything that is started a year ago will renew now. You might even go for 3 years if you have a 3-year contract running as well. What kind of fields do I have here? I have report columns that I use. Subscription ID, billing frequency, seat count, those kind of information. You see a lot of other fields can be added and can be used if you would need to. And also use some groupings, report grouping, where you have the subscription end date, because that's basically what we aim at, the customer company, the product name, and then the billing cycle to have a better overview. So here and now I can see my report, which is live on the, and I can sort it normally by clicking here. But as said, this is everything. This is a billing report, so everything information which was available during the year. So also stopped subscriptions, they are visible in this list. So meaning, if you use this way of working, you will need to export it as a CSV and then filter it out on the Excel sheet that you get, because you get too much information basically. But there are two ways to get the report: using the billing information reports or using the subscription information available. Again, same Excel sheet that you can convert into columns. Are there any questions on this first small topic? Again, you can put them in the chat. You can unmute yourself. I hope that works. Long time that I used Zoom. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. So what we saw, basically renewals using the subscription module, where you can apply the filters, Microsoft CSP, because you want the Microsoft NCE environment. You want the filter on active and on post ones, and then you say apply filter, and you get the only those that are selected, and you can then sort them on the end date. Or using the billing reports, where you have you build a report out of the available reports. With the report grouping, this is what I selected. The columns are selected. The publisher name is important in these reports because there you filter out on only the Microsoft seat-based licenses, which you cannot do in the subscriptions. You can do it in the billing reports and say Microsoft Corporation, that is NCE, Microsoft, that is all which is consumption-based, and software perpetuals and software subscriptions. So here you can filter it out if you want to have distinguish between the two environments. Export to CSV, either two of them. So make it as a delimited split, convert and use a comma. And then in the last part, don't forget to split to make the decimal separator a point and the thousand separator a comma. It's an important piece. Otherwise, if you go to the billing, you will get a revenue of billions of euros, which I wish it was true for you, but I doubt it will be. Okay. Secondly, next topic is when I'm in a platform, I go to the marketplace and I select the customer. For instance, my favorite customer is Stevie. Let's take a product, for instance, business premium, and let's take it premium. My mistake. Let's learn to type. You will see that I get basically three prices. The market suggested retail price by the vendor, in this case Microsoft, the reseller price, so what I as a reseller have to pay to the SYNNEX to buy it, and the customer price, the proposed selling price to my customer. As you see here, there is no margin. But now you see here the customer price is 214.97. Oh, mistaken. Let's see what happens at the, go to another customer. You will see that the customer price is different. So the same reseller, it's just that I've used another customer and I get another sales price. Now, how do I get these different prices in my platform? Therefore, we go to the billing section. There we have price books. So this is a demo, a lot of playing, so I have some information that you don't have. So again, I need to have micro CSP, not modern over the place. That's legacy. I need to have the micro CSP environment, and I have price books. Price books are two types. You have the master price book, which is based on the market suggested retail price by the vendor, the MSRP, or you have your cost plus price book, where you say, I want to start whatever I need to pay. That's my base to start calculating what I'm going to charge to my customer. Per default, both will get MSRP as the default sales price to the customer. This price book, the top one, is the one defaultly used to your customers. If you don't do nothing, this one will be assigned to your customers. As you see, I created some of them. For instance, cost no charge. This is just a copy of this cost price book where I say I don't want an uplift. I made another one, cost plus 50%. So this is basically raising my cost plus 50%. This one, MSRP minus, is here I start my pricing from MSRP. It's a difference, and I will show you in the slide what will be the difference later on. So which price book is now assigned to which customer? We go to the reports. We do the price book allocation report. This is a default. You always get one default. I changed it a bit for this demo. So I made it per customer, and I have my STB7 having the cost no charge. We saw it. There was no charge. There was no difference between the reseller price and the customer price. And I have our Dutch branch, which have the cost plus 50% margin. Basic. So let's now adapt the price book for STB7. How do I do that? I go to the customer. I select STB. I can select multiple. whatever I want. I go to assign price book here. It's obviously, again, micro CSP. It's in euros. And I want the same as the Dutch friends. So I say cost first 50%. Save. This is now entering the system. But actually, what's happening with the price book? So if I go back to the price books, let's take this 50% price book in euros, Eric. So I take the 50% cost plus. So basically here, a global adjustment has been done into the price book, meaning that all articles, and for Microsoft, this is 1,020,000 lines of products, have all price increase of 50%, which is fun. I can obviously say I want a business premium. Let's filter that out of the 1 million lines. New commerce experience. Business premium. And here you will see the details. This interface is being worked on as a lot of things in Ion. This is an always evolving platform to have a better view, a better way of working. So I have 50%, but I can now say that if I select those, I do a price adjustment. I want to change for these 14 SKUs. I want to have, for instance, a percentage, not 50%, but I want to only have like 10%. Apply. So this now, the price book will be changed, and I get for this business premium, also annual terms with monthly payment, yearly payment, monthly terms, with or without teams. They will all have other price, sales price. The trials obviously remain at 0. That's obviously because percentage 0 plus 10% remains 0. Price book is assigned. So if I now apply these changes, this will take some while, so we're not going to show it. But so this one, if I do the save transactions here, it will start working on the price book. This will take a while because 1 million lines is a bit of actions to be taken. But this is the principle. You can work on it and say, look, I want to make a promo or a campaign on a specific product. Then you can change the price from an admin perspective, and all the salespeople working with the platform will then apply that price at the moment of purchase or at the moment of sales. I didn't apply it as you saw. Now let's go back to my marketplace. I want to have business premium again. You can also, if you take this one, if you know the code, make it faster, you can search on the code as well. Sometimes it goes faster. I didn't select my customer yet. So our Dutch friends, let's see. What was the price? 322. What's the price for Staby? You see here, this is still not adapted. There is some time lapse between the actual assignment of the price book and the actual view. If you log out and log in again, you will get a price update faster than when you don't log out. This is cookie based, so that's why you don't see the price. But if I go to the marketplace, if I put the code to the market, then you see that its price is really adapted. So I did mostly go check the price from the system. So there's a small difference here. Log off, log on will refresh your cookies, and you get a better price also in the marketplace view at front. But in the cart will be always the correct price at the moment of purchase. Okay. Questions, remarks? Okay, so let's recapitulate. So price books. So again, this is the sample from Microsoft, work for other vendors as well. So you have the master price book and the cost plus price book. If only one is available, For instance, you will see on some vendors, you don't have the cost price book. Why? Because they only have, for instance, consumption-based licenses. They don't have seat-based licenses. Then it's always, the master price books are always going to a MSRP based price book. The masters cannot be changed. So if you want to make a price book, an adjustment, you need to copy the master and then work on the copy and then assign the copy to the correct customer or customers. You can take an hour to be processed. That's not correct. I just say always take an hour to be sure. But if you log off, log on again, your cookies are refreshed and you have immediately the best prices. It's only applied on future changes, purchases. You cannot say, I want to apply the price book now and make it active, make it retroactively active. What I sold last month will be on this price. No, it's not possible. So everything which is done at the 2nd of January will be calculated on the price book that was assigned on the 2nd of January. Yes. So all reports, you will see in your reports at a certain moment, your price will change at the moment you change the price book. That's sometimes because people do something, other people look at the accounting, they get other prices. Well, because there was a price book change that has been done to that customer. Please keep it simple. Don't make too much price books. Yeah. As you saw, I have a lot and I already need to think what it's for and give it a name that says something. If you call them price book A, B, C, D, and E, it will be difficult afterwards to see, okay, what's this all about? If you say, like I did, minus 50% or minus 20 plus whatever, it's clearly what is happening with that price book. Price book promo on business premium, name it promo business premium, so people know what it's all about. So the difference between the master price book and the cost price book, so the master price book based on MSRP, the cost price book based on your purchase price. The master price book is a default for the customers. So if you don't do anything, the master price book will be assigned. The cost price book, the customer cost defaults to MSRP. So if you don't change anything, you anyway get the MSRP. And it's not for consumption-based services. So they remain always on MSRP. So the Microsoft Azure, or for instance, if you go to Google or AWS, which is consumption-based, you always start from the MSRP pricing, not from the cost price. Why? Because the cost price is not known up front. That's easily why. So let's give an example. I have a default MSRP, which is 120 euro. Your cost 100 euros. And you say the default, so there is no change. The default goes to the MSRP, so the customer cost is 120 euros. Let's do an adjustment of 50% on the seat-based license. What does that mean? Easy. If I go to the cost price book, it's 100. I take 15% margin, so it's 115 euro that goes to the customers as a price. If I take the MSRP and I adjust 15%, apparently that's 18 euros that will be added. That's correct. So I go to 138 euros resale price. So it is important to know where you start from to get the correct pricing that you need to have. Okay, I see a question. With more than one product. When you click back, you have to start over and select customer again. Christophe, can you elaborate on that? Christophe, whether you can unmute yourself. Well, let me try what you can't you unmute yourself? That's strange. I thought it was possible, but I'm not managing the Zoom presentation here. So you say open subscription of a customer. Okay, so I'll go to a customer. Let's take Stevie 7. So I have multiple. So I have, for instance, let's take an active one, the TeamStreams Pro. Because in the subscription, there's only one product, and there is so subscription with more than one product. When you click back, you have to start over and select customer again. Oh, you mean this here, or in the subscriptions? Okay, see what you mean. Indeed, yeah, see what you mean now. If you're in your subscriptions and you go into the details of the subscription, for instance, this one, yes, and if you click back, you go to the subscriptions, the full listing. That's true. Currently, there is no other way of doing that. Instead of going into the customer, yes, eventually a new tab, and start working on your licenses from the customer page and not from the subscription page. That's the only workaround I see for this issue that you mentioned, Christoph. Okay. Questions on the price books? Okay. Price books, so available in the billing reports. So if you take a billing report in Ion, this one, if you take a billing report, you can see the price book, but you can also have this report, which is the price book allocation report, as shown per customer. I can see which price book is assigned to which customer. You can do it, work around. And if I go to options and I go to manage report grouping, and I put the price book name on top, and I update my report, then I have my price books, and I can now see which customers are on which price book. Easy peasy, just work with the columns options in your reports. Okay. Good. So let's go a bit the other way around. A question I get a lot is, well, how can I find information on my customer, and basically what information can I get on the tenant of the customer in StreamOne Ion? Let's go back to Ion here. So I am this customer. Luckily, I'm in a customer. So you have general, basically, where you see the customer information. So which is the admin account, which is the address of the customer. You can see the users that are defined. Why users? Well, you need to have at least one to be able to purchase. So always keep one. And if you later on start working with the white labels front storefront, these will be users that can access this white label storefront. So that might be for future use. One of the next session will go over the white label storefront. Jesus, what is possible with that one? Cloud billing, cloud providers. So we call them providers here. We have all the providers that are available for a customer. Again, I need to have micro CSP, NCE, and here you see what I can see on this customer. If the MCA, because sometimes you do a purchase, you get an error saying that the MCA is not signed or not actively signed anymore, because Microsoft sometimes they change the MCA rules and then the customer needs to accept them again, or you can do it on behalf of your customer. Yes, you don't need to go to the partner center of Microsoft. You can do it here by update attestation, giving the first name, giving the last name, the bond. To put it that way to make it clear that it's another one. Do it this way, signed on today. 37th email is update. So now I'm going to change the MCA settings at Microsoft. So my MCA is now signed. So if you ever get that error when you do a purchase, it's here you can change it. As you notice, I don't see the tenant information itself, only the MCA. That is because at Microsoft, we have multiple layers, and it is everything on the tenant is Azure. Even if you do only Exchange Online, you're basically working on an Azure background. So using the legacy Azure, you can then see basically the domain of the tenant, the basic or the default domain that is being used for the tenant. So it's the Azure that gives away the tenant name. The other one is just being able to update the attestation, which I don't right now. It's not aware yet. Take some time, those updates to be available. Other providers, if for instance you go to Google Workspace, you see the information. Oh, it's not one of the two was filled in yesterday. You see the information from the Google environment as well. So depending on the vendor, you get more or less fields. It really is vendor dependent. So this is basically how you can get information on the tenant and on the customer itself. I don't go into all the other details yet. Maybe in next sessions that I will do that. Second question I get a lot is, yes, well, I'm now selling Microsoft, but I have a customer that wants to buy BitTitan or AvePoint or other vendors from the cloud. Yes, you can do that. So we have today 6 vendors on the platform in Belgium and Luxembourg: Microsoft, AvePoint, BitTitan, Acronis, Google, and AWS. How can you apply? Because you need to apply basically for a new vendor. Go to the partners. You should see us, the SYNNEX. Cannot remove us. Yes. There you have the programs. Loading them. So you see we have here a lot of them active, and these are requested or requestable other vendors or other programs that I can apply to. Some of them are not available in Europe. For instance, Sophos. IBM is not available in Europe yet. Will become rather soon. But all the others, if you want to, for instance, AWS web services, there's a second page here. Acronis reseller, you go in, request the access, click it, request the access. Depending on the vendor, you get more or less questions here. All the rules, you accept it. For instance, here, if you would apply for Microsoft, you need to put in the MPN ID. For BitTitan, you need to put an address. Here, you need to have your first and last name. So let's put it in, Eric. But I'm just not going to do blah, blah. Okay, this is our default. So when we do request, basically a ticket will be opened into our operations system. They will do some checks. For instance, is the vendor available in your country? They will inform us to say that reseller is interested in selling this vendor. Are you agreeing with that? And then we agree, mostly we agree. And then you can start purchasing or selling that vendor's programs. This will take normally about 3 hours to get a full cycle round. Once you're on the platform, it's roughly a 3-hour cycle, depending on how agile we are in the country. If you do it on a Sunday night at 10 o'clock, it might be taking a bit longer than 3 hours. So basically, this is how you can quite simply ask for other programs to sell without needing to call us or send us an email. Just go to the platform, request the access, and 3 hours later, you can start selling that vendor. While we're here at the partner, what else information you have? Partner information, yeah, obviously. So that will be the SYNNEX, that's us, our address, how you can, I need to change this, I see, already change. Partner options, that's not much. information there that is available. No, not needed. And delegate admin. This allows us to work on behalf of you on the platform. Yes. You can remove it, fine. But if you call us, say, I need urgently an order to be placed or a change to be done or check something, if we don't have the delegate admin privileges, we cannot support you on the platform. Quite simply, you need everything by email or by phone or by screen sharing from your side, which is not always that easy to arrange in a short time period. So it is there, you can remove it, but please don't do it for your own support reasons. So what did we saw? A bit under the hood, tenant details and programs. So tenant details, go to your customer, cloud providers, select the provider. Select the provider, and you get information by double clicking on it. You get information that you get which is needed or required by the vendor. If you want other vendors to be added to your portfolio, go to the programs in the partners, take the SYNNEX, take the programs request, and then that will trigger the onboarding process for that vendor. Okay. Let's see what's coming up, the roadmap. So an important one, which is normally due next week. We had an issue on the reporting side, but that seems to be solved now. It's price overrides. So I talked to you about price books, yeah, giving an overview of our structural price changes. Imagine that you have now a very important project, and you need to convince the customer. You say, I want to give for this deal, for this product, another price than which is in the price books. And you can start using price overrides. Just ad hoc. I cannot show it. I'm not allowed to show it. Ad hoc at the purchasing moment, you can say, my price is not 200 euros. My price will be 99 euros or 70 euros or 150 euros, whatever you want to do, a price change based on a fixed price or a percental change based on your cost or your MSRP. So for a single price change, not need to create a special price book for this one deal. You can do it with the price override, so ad hoc price changes. Quotes, being able to basically send a quote to the customer. Today, if I'm in the marketplace, and I go back to the marketplace. Let's take a customer, my favorite, Stevie. Okay, there is already something. Let's add a kiosk here. Exchange kiosk. Add it to the charge. Let's add an E5. Whatever, no teams. So I add a lot of products to the cart because I have my customer online. You read the numbers and it says, that might be a bit expensive. So today you can say save cart for later. Cart name, it's 250127. Okay. So my cart is empty. I go back to the customers, go back to the marketplace. I go to my customer, Stevie. I go to my cart, and I can now easily take the products as they were described and add them back to the cart. This is a one-off, yes. You can create multiple carts, that's not a problem. Products remain for 1 month in there, which is basically a hassle in the sense that, imagine there's a price change. You might get other numbers to your customers, which is not clear. You on the phone, you said this will cost 2.93, and then when you sell it a month later, it certainly became 4 euros. So that's a pain. So that's why quotes are coming in. So quotes will be another option here on top, where you can create basically cards, put prices on them based on price book or using price overrides. Send them out to your customer, even with multiple options. Yes. And then the customer says, yes, I want to have this as a valid you can reactivate it, the quote, to go to the chart with the prices as they are mentioned on the quote. So basically, a more interesting way of informing your customers on what price they might expect on the platform. You can send them out. They're time bound. You can say this is valid for 3 months, for a year, for a week. Our advice: don't make them longer till the end of the month, because if you make an offer on the 14th of March, a quote with the yearly monthly, based on the price at that moment, and the customers on the 5th of April will say, yes, I want to have that quote, and you activate it, it will go on the prices at the moment the quote was created. So, but again, I will come back on the next session on the price overrides and the quotes. Other things that are coming, purchase rules, for instance, that you can specify maximum quantities that can be bought. This is important for the white label for front store. You can say, yeah, customer can make changes, but they cannot buy 100 at a time. A complete redesign of the marketplace. Today, if as you know, if you have a new customer or you take over an existing, you need to, in the purchase process, link or create a new tenant. This will be split off. So you first link or create a tenant, and then you start the purchasing process, which is making one side more sense, because today you can only, the first offer or order can be only one product, and you need to make order. So by splitting it off, you basically have a much fluent way of working. Vendor promos. Microsoft is having a lot of vendor promos today, which are today not capable of being visible in the platform. For instance, in Dynamics, you have the bridge to the cloud promos. Well, they will become visible into the platform as well. Visible, not meaning that you will be approved. So you can show a customer this is a promo. Microsoft giving, for instance, Copilot. If you purchase 10 Copilots, there's a promo today, but Microsoft will decide whether you get it or not. It's not us. It's not SYNNEX. So you can show to the customer, yes, there is a price promo, but if Microsoft afterwards says yet, there is no price promo. Yeah? So we can show it, we cannot guarantee it. Private offers, making your own offers based on Microsoft products. Multi-seller reseller transfers for Google, GWS, that will be coming. Marketplace taxes stack, which is important for AWS, which is basically those two last ones are vendor based to get equally possibilities, which is on the vendor level as in StreamOne Ion. And there will be much more coming up in the next couple of days, weeks, months, and years. As said, this is not a finished product. This is an ongoing evolution. Okay. Now you say, Eric, yes, fine, but this is a lot. Well, we have trainings available at Brainshark for you and for your colleagues, which is basically a list. You can essentials, the StreamOne Ion essentials, that you can get trainings on based on the Microsoft, AWS specific, Google specific trainings, IBM, okay, not available in Europe yet, AvePoint, Sophos, BitTitan for all those vendors, advanced platform specialist, if you really want to go for like auto-tasking integrations, you can have trainings, white label, marketplace setup. So all those things are available today on trainings that you can take online at your own pace at Brainshark. SCM specific, you can forget, because that doesn't work anymore. SCM was the old cloud platform we had at SYNNEX. I forgot to take that out. Now I pushed the wrong button, I think. Yes. Okay. Questions? Questions, remarks? Okay, so let me then ask you a couple of questions. For further sessions, yes. Today I said this was based on questions I get a lot, or we get a lot in TD SYNNEX. Other topics that you say I won't have this covered in next session, please let us know. Yeah. We want to address your needs. We don't want to just spread out information. We want to give answers to your questions, show you things that are available in the platform, or workarounds if things are not available yet in the platform. That was one question. Remarks on the content, obviously, let us know. I guess you will get a evaluation forms be sent out after this session that you can give your honest and open feedback. Please do so. Yeah. Whereas, so thank you. Contact us. Hyperscaler will be at tdsynnex.com. The old Microsoft.be at tdsynnex.com always still works. Yes, but we rebrand ourselves because we're not only doing Microsoft anymore, we're also doing Vityton, Google, AWS, and AvePoint out of the team. Acronis is another team. Sorry for that. But those 5 vendors are treated by us. And if you want, the next session is on Monday, February 24th, again at 1 o'clock. Get your colleagues on it if you're in there, if you think it's interesting. Get your topics. Yes, I'd rather have 50 topics that I need to choose from than I need to go in and think which are the most important one or most interesting ones for you. You can still type your questions into the point, or if you can unmute, please unmute yourself. I want that basically, but I don't know how I can do that. Allow to talk. Okay. No. No. No, you should be able to talk to me.
Ja, inderdaad. Ik denk dat het werkt.
Oh, Christophe?
Ja. Die heeft me net ontdempt, dus ik kan spreken.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not used to work with Zoom anymore, so and you need to check. I needed to check that. So, if someone has a question, now you can unmute yourself. Sorry for that. That was not possible during the session. Please do so. I'll thank you for being here. I hope it was kind of interesting for you, that you learned something. And again, don't hesitate. Contact us if you have questions, remarks, things don't work the way you want it to do. And stay posted for the next sessions and other updates that we will send out in the next couple of days, weeks, months, and years.